This is Micron, ticker MU, one of only 3 companies on Earth that makes the memory inside almost every computer, phone, and AI server. For most of its history, it was a boom-and-bust commodity maker, the kind of stock investors love to hate. Then, in June 2026, its shares closed at an all-time high above $1,200. Something fundamental had changed, and by the end, you'll see how that change reaches all the way into the price of your own next computer. Start with the quarter it just reported. For the 3 months ending in May 2026, Micron booked $41.46 billion in revenue. Wall Street had penciled in about 36. This wasn't a beat by a few percent. It was a company operating on a completely different scale than anyone expected. And here is how fast it happened. A year earlier, that same quarter brought in just $9.3 billion. So revenue didn't simply grow, it multiplied, up 346%, roughly 5 times bigger in the span of 12 months. But the real story isn't the sales, it's the margin. A year ago, Micron kept about 27 cents of gross profit on every dollar it sold. Last quarter, it kept 85. In the space of a year, memory went from a thin-margin commodity to one of the most profitable products in all of technology. That flowed straight to the bottom line. Adjusted earnings came in at $25.11 per share, against an expectation near 20. Net income, for a single 3-month quarter, was nearly $29 billion. For a company that used to lose money in down cycles, the turnaround is staggering. Put the whole quarter on one dashboard, and the pattern jumps out. $41.5 billion in revenue, an 85% gross margin, $25 of earnings per share, and $18 billion in free cash flow, a company record. Every single tile is an all-time high, all at once. And management says the next quarter will be bigger still. Micron guided to about $50 billion in revenue. Give or take $1 billion, yet another record. But notice that word, guidance. It is a forecast, not a result. The direction, though, is unmistakable, and it points straight up. But the real reason for all of this isn't in the numbers you've just seen. It's in what Micron's customers just did. Here is why they can be so confident. Micron's entire 2026 output of high-bandwidth memory, the specialized chips that feed AI accelerators, is already sold. Committed under multi-year, fixed-price contracts. The year was not even half over, and the supply was completely gone. And even being sold out isn't enough. On the earnings call, Chief Executive Sanjay Mehrotra said something remarkable, that Micron can currently fill only between half and 2/3 of its customers' demand for high-bandwidth memory. They have sold every chip they can make, and customers still can't get all they want. So customers did something unusual in this industry. They signed an ink. Micron now holds about $100 billion in minimum contracted revenue, guaranteed orders that stretch all the way out to 2030, across 14 of its 16 big customer agreements. And these are take-or-pay deals. 16 strategic agreements, locked into 5-year terms running through 2030. Take-or-pay means the customer pays even if prices later fall. They are not betting on supply, they are guaranteeing it, years ahead, at a fixed price. And they back those promises with cash. Customers put down about $18 billion in deposits, part of $22 billion in total commitments. In a business once defined by brutal, unpredictable cycles, having buyers pay years in advance is almost unheard of. Micron expects these agreements to make up about half or more of all company revenue once they are fully running. Think about that. A business famous for its violent boom-and-bust swings just converted half of its future into a signed, prepaid contract. Which raises a bigger question. How did just a handful of companies end up with this much power? Now step back and look at the whole industry. Just 3 companies, Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron, control more than 95% of the world's DRAM, the main memory inside every device you own. When all 3 decide to turn in the same direction, the entire global market moves with them. And they all turn toward AI memory. In the high-bandwidth race, SK Hynix leads with about 62% of the market. Micron now holds 21%. Samsung trails at 17%. Industry trackers put the split right about there, and that middle number is the surprise. Because that 21% means Micron has passed Samsung for the number 2 spot in AI memory, a position it had simply never held before. In a single cycle, the pecking order of an entire industry reshuffled, and the next fight, over a generation of memory called HBM4, is already beginning. And the prize keeps getting bigger. Micron estimates the high-bandwidth memory market will roughly triple, from about $35 billion in 2025 to around $100 billion by 2028. The company isn't fighting over a fixed pie. The pie itself is exploding. And it is already moving to the next generation. Micron has shipped more than $1 billion of its newest memory, called HBM4, and says it is ramping about twice as fast as the generation before it. In this business, you build ahead of demand, or you lose your seat at the table. None of this is cheap. To keep up, Micron is spending around $27 billion on new factories and equipment this year alone. Building the machines that make AI memory is now one of the most capital-hungry undertakings in all of manufacturing. And all of that capacity, all of that money, leads to one consequence you will feel directly. Now, the part that quietly reaches your wallet. As the makers shifted their wafer capacity toward high-margin AI memory, ordinary memory suddenly got scarce. Contract prices for standard DRAM jumped 55 to 60% in early 2026. The AI boom had started showing up in everyday parts. Micron even walked away from everyday buyers entirely. In December 2025, it announced it was exiting its crucial consumer brand, the memory sticks and solid-state drives that people buy to upgrade their own computers, so it could send that manufacturing capacity to AI data centers instead. Look at where those increases landed. Server memory prices climbed as much as 70%. The standard memory in a PC rose around 55 to 60. Even flash storage went up by roughly a third. And because three makers control the whole market, the increases showed up across every brand at once. So here is the mechanism, start to finish. AI demand pulls wafer capacity toward high-bandwidth memory. That leaves less capacity for ordinary DRAM and flash storage. Less supply against the same demand, and prices rise. The cost of the AI boom shows up, quietly, in the price of your next laptop. Call it the memory tax. The market has noticed all of it. Micron stock closed at an all-time high of $1,211 in June 2026 and touched $1,255 just days later. A company once treated as the ultimate cyclical gamble became one of the most prized names on the exchange. And Wall Street sees more ahead. Goldman Sachs lifted its price target to $1,100. Morgan Stanley went to $1,200, rating the stock overweight. But remember, these are projections, not promises. They are analyst forecasts of where the stock could go, not facts about where it will. And it's worth being honest about what this is. This isn't a bubble in a stock price. It's a shortage in a supply chain. AI demand outran the world's ability to make memory, and prices did exactly what prices do when supply is short. Shortages, eventually, get built away, and these same companies are spending tens of billions to do it. For decades, memory was the ultimate commodity. Interchangeable, cheap, and forgettable. Artificial intelligence turned it into the most valuable thing in the box, minted a fortune for the three companies that make it, and put a quiet tax on everyone who buys a computer. This is descriptive data journalism, not investment advice. If you found it useful, subscribe. A new data story every day.